Buhari set for medical checkup during UK trip. Ghana issues restrictions on funerals over COVID. United States accused of demonizing China in high-level talks. And on the sports, the Tigers hope to bounce back against Germany. And moving on to the news in details. President Muhammadu Buhari is reported to be traveling to London to attend an education summit and will use the trip to go for a health checkup. This was contained in a statement by the president's media advisor, Femi Adesina. According to the statement, the president is expected to return to Nigeria by the second week of August 2021 and will participate in the Global Education Summit co-hosted by United Kingdom Prime Minister Boris Johnson and President of Kenya Uhuru Kenyatta. His last visit was at the end of March when he spent about 2 weeks. Meanwhile, his frequent medical trips have been widely criticized, especially given the poor state of Nigeria's public healthcare system. The Federal High Court has today commenced its annual vacation for the year 2021. In a circular by the Chief Registrar of the Court, Mr. Emmanuel Gako, said the vacation will end on Friday, September 17th, while court activities would resume on September 20th. According to Gako, some courts in Abuja, Lagos, and Port Harcourt divisions will remain functional to cater for cases of extreme urgency during the period. He said litigants were at liberty to approach any of the aforementioned divisions nearest to them for litigation. However, Abuja, Lagos, and Port Harcourt judicial divisions will be functional to cater for cases of extreme urgency during the vacation. The trial of the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, resumed at the Federal High Court Abuja today without Kanu's presence in court. When the matter was called up, the Prosecution Counsel, MB Abubakar, informed the court that the matter was slated for hearing and that they were ready to continue. Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, Ifeanyi Ejiofor, informed the court that there was a pending application before the court to transfer Kanu from the custody of the DSS to the Correctional Center. Justice Binta Onyako stated that the trial cannot continue in the absence of Kanu since he is not available to stand his trial. Justice Onyako also called the DSS to produce the IPOB leader in court for trial. The court has, however, adjourned to October 24, 2021 for continuation of hearing. You are still listening to the news from around the world on T-Solid Radio. Still to come is the foreign and sport news. Do remember that you can download our app T-Solid on Play Store or log on to www.tsolid.tv. You can as well follow us on our various social media platforms on our T-Solid Radio TV. And on the foreign scene, Ghana's President Nana Akufo-Addo has been funerals will last no more than 2 hours and attendance will be restricted to family members only, while our funerals and weddings shall be held in open spaces. Ghanaians have elaborate and expensive funerals that involve days, weeks, or even months of mourning. Wearing of masks has been made mandatory in an event and while outside on public spaces. The president expressed concern that the country was approaching the third COVID wave. And according to report, the country is surpassed 100,000 coronavirus infection. President Akufo-Addo has however said the government would establish a vaccine institute to spearhead the manufacturing of vaccines locally. The Foreign Minister of Equatorial Guinea, Simeon Oyono Esono, has told newsmen that the country's embassy in London is closing in response to British sanctions imposed on the president's son. An embassy official, however, told newsmen it remained open and knew of no decision to close it down. Last week, London imposed an asset freeze and travel ban on Vice President Teodoro Obiang Maggio, accusing him of using public money to fund a lavish lifestyle. This included spending $500 million buying mansions around the world, a private jet, and memorabilia of the pop star Michael Jackson. The government of Equatorial Guinea described the sanction as illegal and based on lies. China has told the United States to stop demonizing Beijing in their most high-level talks under President Biden. China's Vice Foreign Minister Xi Jinping said relations have reached a stalemate because the United States saw China as an imagined enemy. He is in talks with Deputy Secretary of State Wendy Sherman, the most senior United States official to visit China in months. Mr. Biden has taken a hardline approach towards China, especially on issues like human rights and sanctions. The United States-China visit has widely been viewed as a preparatory step for an eventual meeting with Mr. Biden and his Chinese counterpart, President Xi Jinping. Tensions between both countries have been high recently, with last week China imposed sanctions on several United States individuals and organizations, including former Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross. Afghan civilians were killed and injured at record levels in the first half of this year as violence escalated. A news report says Afghanistan's recorded more than 1,600 civilian deaths so far in 2021. That's a 47% rise compared with this time last year, while the United Nations wants the number of deaths could rise still further. Government forces have been fighting Taliban insurgents who now control a large part of the country. Most international forces have withdrawn after a mission lasting nearly 20 years. According to the United Nations report, anti-government forces were responsible for 64% of civilian casualties. Pro-government forces accounted for 25% and 11% are blamed on crossfire, while all of casualties, 32% were children. However, General M.C. Kenzie did not say if the strikes would continue after the end of the United States military mission on 31st August. And moving on to the world of sports, Nigeria's national men's basketball team, the Tigers, will be hoping to bounce back after their opening loss to Australia when they host Germany on Wednesday at the ongoing Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. The Mike Brown two-toed side failed to make the best of start as they lost to Australia, as the gulf between both sides were not as wide, as was the case when both sides met in Las Vegas last week in warm-up tie. In Las Vegas on July 13th, the Tigers lost by 32 points to the Boomers, but the difference was 17 points as they lost 84-67 to the Aussies yesterday. The Nigerians also made 8 of their 24 three-point attempts, or 33.3%, compared to the Aussies, who made 11 of the 24 attempts from downtown. With that, we've come to the end of the news, a recap of the major headlines. Buhari set for medical checkup during United Kingdom trip. And the foreigners in Ghana issues restrictions on funerals over COVID. United States accused of demonizing China in high-level talks. And on the world of sport, the Tigers hope to bounce back against Germany. Ensure to go by all precautionary measures to stay safe from COVID-19 as recommended by the World Health Organization and the Nigerian Center for Disease Control. Do remember to download our app T-Solid on Play Store or log on to www.tsolid.tv. You can as well follow us on our various social media platforms on our T Solid Radio TV. The news was compiled and edited by Akachi Chijoke. I am Joy Akin Olamigoke. Good afternoon and many thanks for listening.